Right, there we are.
We're here.
We're here,
Nice.
and we are sharing.
Doing it.
We're sharing across
Platforms.
Jackson's social platforms.
It's not showing up yet.
It will give.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. All right, Jackson's going to give it a quick share.
Sharing it up. Share to your page. 2,000 views.
Awesome.
Post, and then one more.
Quick shares, and then we'll
Then we're
be
rocking and rolling.
rocking and rolling.
Come on, buddy.
Thanks for tuning in, peeps. It's good to see Brian, Kevin, Aiden, and Nilesh
Hello.
tuning in. Hello, hello. Starting very shortly.
I'm sorry. I'm showing it to another group. All right. I think we're ready.
We are ready to go on a bunch of shares.
Yeah.
All right.
What's up, man?
I am pumped to chat with you.
Yeah. So we're doing a special edition of the Random Show today, and we're also sharing it on Alan's social platform. So I'm just going to introduce myself for people listening and tuning in from all over the intergalactic networks.
Yeah.
I'm Jackson Long. I host the podcast Thought for Food podcast, co-founder of Thought for Food Lifestyle, and it's just kind of a platform dedicated to talking about mostly nutrition science, but science of all kinds in a non-judgmental, approachable way that's really rooted in kind of entertainment, but also evidence, and having a good time doing it. So I guess for those of you that don't know Alan, let's hear it. Let's introduce yourself.
I'm Alan Sakyan, and I host and produce a bunch of different things related to science communication. One of them is a science comedy show called Eureka. Another one are these future festivals called World's Fair, and then a new series called Simulation. And I also mentor entrepreneurs, writing a couple books. That's kind of what I'm up to. I'm excited to talk to you about science communication. It's going to be a solid episode. And maybe, do we need to do anything else before we jump into it?
I just want to say if you hear cars in the background, it's because we are in the Mission. It's the famous San Francisco Mission. So,
yes.
And I am just so blessed to be hanging out with Alan. We just have had some great conversations, just cool connectivity, and good time. So yeah, the topic of today, I think we just wanted to launch off with science communication when we just literally met a few minutes ago, basically. So
yeah, exactly. We were introduced by a mutual friend, Paul Shapiro.
Shout out to Paul.
Shout out to Paul. And then now we have another great connection. This very common thing that occurs is epic people introduced to epic people, and that are trying
I love
to make
doing
the world
epic
better.
shit. That's my
All
right, so let's
do it.
Let's start with because science communication, I think, is just such a key thing to talk about that not enough people in science talk about. Right, and so something that I'm interested in learning more about and talking more about is how do we so we all have these ideas and we learn about all these amazing things and we want to share those to the world and we get really frustrated when people don't listen and when they don't adopt these principles or these skills or whatever it is we're trying to teach. And so science communication, I think, is a very underrated skill because
Absolutely.
It can change the entire game.
Exactly. And you experience so many brilliant people across so many different fields of science, and you will engage with them and learn from them, and they'll take some series on television, they'll take time trying to teach what they're researching, and we experience a problem when they go for minutes and minutes on end explaining maybe the concepts too much of a complex way, or maybe they don't story tell well enough, they don't touch your emotions well enough, and we miss out on the really important meat of what they're actually doing and the importance of it. And so then there's people like us that work with really smart people on trying to refine their messages into short, concise, but impactful nuggets of wisdom to get the public to care about it. And once they do start caring more about it, we see massive trends in communication going towards sharing content of the newest sciences. Like when we discover the TRAPPIST solar system, most people don't care that much about exoplanets, but when you finally get to produce good videos and to engage with scientists and refine their messages in the right way, all of a sudden exoplanets start trending online, and conversation around that starts trending, and guess what that does? It dwarfs our ego. It shows that the cosmos are very vast, and that happens across every other science as well, not just astrophysics.
Yeah, well, I think, like, for me, my sort of specialty and focus and passion is nutrition science, and specifically, plant-based nutrition and how that relates to pretty much everything. It's like the environment, our health, ethics and sustainability, and all of these kind of things that are very important to me and very important to lots of people. But at the same time, we were talking about this earlier, like the whole kind of plant-based thing, and like as soon as you throw out the word vegetarian or vegan, it's like that is hard to communicate and convey to people, and so I'm trying really hard to figure out the best modality to communicate that, and I think that, because I think everyone's going to agree for the most part that we should do as much as we can to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases being emitted, and do what we can to sustain life on this planet. Yep. And reduce the suffering of beings and all of these things, and just live healthier. Like, even selfishly, just live healthier, be more athletic, more fit, more happy. All these things. No one's going to argue with that. But then there's a huge disconnect between people's behaviors and their ideas. And so. Correct. How do we bridge that gap through communication?
Yeah, and you're nailing it in nutrition. In this field, especially, think about it this way: we have had everything that you do during the day. The most common thing that you're probably doing is you're breathing fresh air. And the next most common thing you're doing is you're probably blinking your eyes, and you're probably having thoughts, and then you're probably drinking water, and then what's after that is food. And you're walking and stepping and clicking keys on keyboards, but you're literally, food is one of the top things in your life day after day after day. And so it's probably one of the hardest things. It'd be like trying to tell somebody you should change the water that you drink. And
plenty of people do that.
Plenty of people do it.
You need to get a reverse osmosis filter, man.
And you need to drink water from glaciers.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's why it's so difficult, is because it's something that we do so frequently. It's something that we love. And it's also something that's been indoctrinated into our civilization from tens of thousands of years ago.
Highly cultural. It's ingrained.
Highly cultural. And ever since we planted food next to our homes and civilization arose from being able to have high